breaking down his own temple first, which would probably take way too much time and not be worth it. And Luxury moving in with Mulus and Scourge into the main of Yarnak, and they're going to kill some drones. 1, 2, 3 drones, I believe, die, and he's just going to run away. And oh, no, he's going to try and micro against Yarnak, and both of them doing a pretty good job of taking down the Scourge. A couple land for each side, but nothing too much. And Yarnak, okay, another Scourge coming in for Luxury, and landing on Yarnak. Yarnak, I think, is behind in this battle right now. More Scourge coming in, and Yarnak not even microing against them. He just has tons of Mulus, and it looks like he might actually have enough that he can take this. It looks about even, and yeah, Yarnak actually has a couple more Mulus coming out of that. I'm surprised because it looked like he was microing less, and somehow he came out with more despite the couple Scourges coming in and landing at the end. He must have had, I don't know how he had that many more Mulus, but it works, that's for sure. But the reinforcing Mulus, that's what it must have been. The reinforcing Mulus for Yarnak is what tipped that battle, and the reinforcing Mulus for Luxury once they joined then tipped the battle back into Luxury's favor, and now we see both players going home and just restocking on Mulus. But so far, I think the game is in Luxury's hands because he has killed, I think, 4 drones or so, 3 or 4 drones so far. And in a ZVZ, every drone is extremely important. We do see overlords for each of the players. Yarnak's got overlords at the top right and the top left. Luxury's got overlords at the bottom left and the bottom right. And just checking out those expansions, I wonder what the players are doing. Maybe just hiding them over there because it would take too long for the Mutalisk to come back and do damage. And Luxury again moving into the main here and engaging the Mutalisk and the Scourge again. And it looks like Yarnak is not microing like at all against the Scourge. He's not microing at all. He's just taking the damage. And yeah, I think as long as Luxury if Yarnak doesn't micro and he just keeps taking these hits, he's gonna lose this Mulus battle sooner or later. I think he needs to think about microing a little more there. And yeah. And it looks like Luxury's moving in for another attack on the natural, and he's going to pick off some more drones. He picks off another drone and then just runs away, and Yarnak is not able to do anything. Yarnak has not been able to move his Mutalisk even like toward Luxury's base in any real way, shape, or form. Some Zerglings actually are out at those corners for Yarnak, not necessarily just Overlords. Evolution Chamber going down for Yarnak, so he's getting very concerned about this harass. So he's going to end a creep colony at his main, so he's going to make that creep colony into a spore colony to help him defend. But that's definitely a huge investment on his part. And now both players microing against Scourge, and Luxury's Mutal, and this fight again happening at Yarnak's main, and more Scourge coming in for Luxury, and there one lands, and yeah, is the second one gonna land? That spore colony does come up, and that's coming into play. It's definitely doing some damage to the Mutalisk. Yarnak is trying to protect the top minerals and letting his spore colony defend the bottom minerals. That looks like what his strategy was in that fight. And it looked like it worked. Luxury was forced to pull away, but again, Luxury is just picking off a random drone here, a random drone there, and in a ZVZ, every single random drone that you lose is very, very important. You just can't fall because you just can't devote any larva to reproducing drones because you need every Mutalisk and every Scourge you can. That every drone is just, it hurts a lot. It's gonna hurt Yarnak in this game. Yeah, it looks like both players actually have their second bases. Their naturals actually like truly mining. Like, it's not at normal saturation, of course. They only have about 5 or so drones at each of them, but they are actually mining minerals as well as gas, which you don't always normally see in a ZVZ just because it usually doesn't last that long. And Luxury actually throwing down a base at the lower left-hand corner, and I don't know if Yarnak's going to see this. He does have Zerglings on the outer ring looking around and stuff, but I don't think he knows that that's there. And Yarnak is going in for an attack on the main of Luxury, and he kills 2 drones before he runs away. But now Luxury looks like he might try and cut the Mutalisk off, but no, he just misses. He just wasn't quite able to pick off the or intercept the Mutalisk for Yarnak. And yeah, if that third base comes up for Luxury, that's going to be huge. Yarnak is watching that bottom right base with the Zergling because there are 2 of Luxury's Overlords over there, but it doesn't look like he's looking at the bottom left yet. A drone going out for Luxury towards a drone coming out for Luxury from his temple, or from the I think he just mined out the mineral. And Yarnak has a Zergling following that, and I don't think Luxury knows because now Yarnak is going to know about this, and the hatchery does go up. I have a feeling that Luxury just sort of told his drone to go over there and build that extractor, and didn't notice that the Zergling was following it. Otherwise, he would have probably turned that Zergling or that drone around towards like the bottom right and trying to fool that Zergling rather than letting Yarnak get that scout. But now Yarnak knows about that base in the bottom left. He knows that he has another place that he can do some damage if he so chooses. And he does send a couple Zerglings over to the bottom left. If Luxury devotes too many of his Mutalisks to the bottom left, then it will definitely leave him undefended in different areas. And that's probably what Yarnak is hoping for. And of course, if Luxury doesn't defend, well, then of course he gets to take down that base, or at least hold that base from mining. One Mutalisk for Luxury down in the lower left-hand corner. He probably should just have it go and kill the Zerglings. I mean, one Mutalisk is not going to make too big of a deal, but he's not bothering. He's just going to have a couple Zerglings go down there and take them down. It looks like the Zerglings for Yarnak were just on a force attack on that hatchery, so they didn't turn around and fight at all. And Yarnak in Luxury was able to take down pretty quickly. And Yarnak now moving to the bottom left with a lot of Mutalisk and some Scourge, and he's going to see if he can take down this expansion before it really gets operational. The extractor did go down, so there is a 2-drone investment plus the 3 drones that are mining, so that is a pretty heavy investment for Luxury. But now Luxury's going to go for a counterattack at Yarnak's base, and we're going to see how much damage he can do. He might be able to do a ton of damage because Yarnak's Mules are quite far away, but he's coming back. He's trying to come back, and Luxury decides to turn around. He is not going to go in for that attack. I think he really should have, because obviously what he was afraid of, I think, was that Luxury or Yarnak might go for his natural and do and hit 2 of his bases, but that's not what he was doing. It looks like Yarnak was just going to go back and try and defend. And Yarnak is trying to throw up a base at the top left. Luxury does know about it, and he sent a couple Zerglings to take it down. It didn't quite go down, but it did take some damage. But that is definitely scouted out, and Yarnak knows, Luxury knows about it. But that base is actually more defended for Yarnak than the bottom left was for Luxury, because to get to that base, Luxury is going to have to pretty much pass by Yarnak's other 2 bases, whereas to get to this extractor for Luxury, Yarnak's just going to be able to go and just hit it straight, not necessarily pass anything. And it looks like Yarnak's going to try some long-distance mining from this. This ZVZ is actually going for a pretty long time. I'm pretty pumped that this game is going this long already. If twins are going to fight, you might as well have an epic fight, right? It might as well be awesome and epic, and it looks like that's what we're getting here. It is getting towards 3 hatch builds, which you don't see too often. Or 3 base builds, I should say. Yarnak's been at 3 bases for a little while. He's got a huge cloud of Scourge there. He's not yet mining from that top left base. The hatchery did go down, but he's not yet mining from it. And Luxury is doing some long distance mining from that bottom left extractor, but that is like truly long distance. That is like, I don't even know, half of the width of the map across he's mining from, so that's not really going to be very effective at all. But he is throwing down another base at the bottom right, and that one will definitely be more defendable for the same reason as Yarnak's is defendable at the top left. And Yarnak is throwing down an extractor and building some drones at the top left to try and take advantage of that base. He does have a pretty big cloud of Mutalisk. I assume that Luxury has an equally big cloud. It doesn't look as big. I think Yarnak might actually have more Mutalisk at this point. He might actually have more. That might have happened just because of the investment that Luxury made at the bottom left might have been steep enough to make up for this difference. The extractor for Yarnak is up and running, and he is now mining. Actually, that is a huge cloud of Mutalisk for Luxury too. Never mind, both players have a ridiculously large amount of Mutalisk and Scourge, and now Luxury is moving across the map towards Yarnak's base, and this might be an absolutely epic fight of ridiculous numbers of Mutalisk and Scourge, which would be awesome. And